Look at a newborn human baby. It can't walk, it can't crawl, it can't cling to its mother like a baby monkey. It can't find food, escape danger, or even hold up its own head. For months, it can do almost nothing but cry. Now compare that to almost any other animal. A baby deer stands within an hour of birth and runs the same day. A baby zebra follows the herd almost immediately. A newborn chimpanzee can grip its mother's fur and hold on tight, riding along wherever she goes. But a human baby? A human baby is born utterly, completely helpless. The most defenseless newborn of almost any creature on Earth. And here is the puzzle that has fascinated scientists for decades. If human babies are this fragile, this needy, this impossible to care for alone, how did our ancestors, living in a brutal prehistoric world of predators, hunger, and cold, manage to keep them alive at all? The answer is one of the most beautiful discoveries in all of human science, and it changes how we understand not just the past, but who we are. Let's go back. First, we have to understand just how big this problem really was. Our ancestors faced a cruel contradiction. On one hand, evolution was giving humans bigger and bigger brains, the very thing that would make us intelligent, capable, dominant. But a big brain needs a big head, and a big head cannot easily be born. So nature struck a compromise. Human babies would be born early, earlier in a sense than they were ready, born while still tiny and undeveloped, so their heads could still fit through the birth canal. The trade-off was staggering. A human infant is born so unfinished that it spends its first year almost as a helpless, outside-the-womb fetus. That bought us our big brains, but it created a monster of a problem. Because now you have a mother, in the wild, with an infant that cannot be put down safely, cannot feed itself, cannot survive even a few hours of neglect. And that mother still has to eat. She has to walk, sometimes many miles, to find food. She has to work, gather, move with the group. She cannot simply sit and hold a baby for years. For a long time, people imagined the answer was simple. The mother did it all, alone, while a father hunted. A tidy little prehistoric family, just like a modern one. But that picture is wrong, and the real story is far more powerful. Because a single mother, alone, could not have done it. Scientists ran the numbers. They looked at how many calories a mother needs, how much food a helpless infant demands, how slowly human children grow, and how often mothers in the ancient world had a new baby before the last one could even care for itself. And the math simply doesn't work. One woman, feeding and protecting a helpless infant entirely on her own, in that world, would fail. Both she and her child would be far more likely to die. So how did they survive? The answer is a single, world-changing idea. They didn't do it alone. They did it together. Scientists call it cooperative breeding, or alloparenting. And once you understand it, you understand something deep about the human species. Allo means other. Alloparenting means care from others, people who are not the mother. In ancient human groups, a baby did not belong only to its mother. In a very real sense, the baby belonged to everyone. Grandmothers, aunts, sisters, brothers, fathers, cousins, and even unrelated members of the group all helped carry, protect, comfort, and feed the child. A newborn was passed from hand to hand, held and soothed by many people from the very first days of life. And this isn't just a guess. We can see it happening today. There are still communities in the world that live much as our ancestors did. Hunter-gatherers whose way of life offers a living window into the deep past. And when anthropologists studied how they raised their children, what they found was astonishing. Among the Efe and Aka people of Central Africa, a newborn is held by many different people on its very first day of life. By the time an Efe baby is just 3 weeks old, it is in the arms of someone other than its mother about 40% of the time. And by around 18 weeks, the baby actually spends more time being held by others than by its own mother. On average, these babies have around 14 different caregivers. 14. When one researcher asked an Efe woman simply, "Who cares for the babies?" the woman's answer was immediate. She said, "We all do. We all do." In those 3 words is the entire secret of how humanity survived. And the fathers were part of this too. Among the Aka, fathers are famously involved. A young child is within arm's reach of its father for a huge portion of the day. The idea that ancient men simply hunted and ignored their children is another myth. In many groups, fathers held, carried, and cared for their babies constantly. But perhaps the most important helper of all was someone we don't usually think of as essential to survival: the grandmother. In most animals, a female reproduces until the day she dies. But human women are different. Women live for many years, often decades, after they can no longer have children of their own. For a long time, this was a mystery. Why would evolution keep someone alive long past their childbearing years? The answer may be the grandmother herself. An older woman, past having her own babies, becomes free to pour all her energy, experience, and knowledge into her grandchildren. She gathers food for them. She watches them so their mother can work. She carries the memory of hard times, where to find water in a drought, which plants are safe, how to survive the lean season. A grandmother is a library of survival, and a second pair of hands that never tires. Scientists believe these grandmothers were so valuable that they actually shaped our evolution. Groups with helpful grandmothers raised more children who survived. And so, over countless generations, the very trait of living long past childbearing age was passed down, because those long-lived elders helped their families' children live. Think about what that means. The long human lifespan itself may exist because of how much we needed each other to raise our young. And this shared care did something more than just keep babies alive. It changed the babies themselves. It changed us. A human infant, held and passed among many caregivers, had to do something no baby chimpanzee ever needed to do. It had to read faces. It had to charm, to connect, to win the affection of many different people, not just one mother. A baby who could catch someone's eye, who could smile at just the right moment, who could make a stranger want to hold and protect it. That baby was more likely to be cared for and more likely to survive. Some scientists believe this is where our deep social intelligence began. Our ability to read emotions, to cooperate, to care about what others feel, the very things that make us human, may have been born in the arms of all those caregivers, in a helpless infant learning to connect with the many people who kept it alive. We did not become intelligent and social first, and then start helping each other. It may be the exact opposite. We may have become intelligent and social because we helped each other raise our impossibly needy babies. So let's return to that helpless newborn we started with. Yes, it is the most defenseless baby on Earth. It cannot walk, or cling, or feed itself, or survive a single day alone. But it was never meant to be alone. That helplessness was not a weakness in our species. It was the seed of our greatest strength. Because a baby that needed everyone created a species that learned to care for everyone. The fragile human infant, passed from loving hand to loving hand around an ancient fire, is the reason we became a species of cooperation, of empathy, of community. Ancient humans didn't raise their children the way we often imagine, one mother, struggling alone. They raised them the way the old saying describes, a saying that turns out to be one of the oldest truths about our kind. It takes a village to raise a child. And for almost the entire human story, it always did. That village is where we came from. It's written into your instincts, your emotions, the way your heart still softens at the sight of a baby that isn't even yours. Because deep down, in the oldest part of what makes us human, that baby is still one of ours. We all care for them. We always have.